You're like,
Hey there, hi there, ho there. We're as happy as can be. Why do you laugh?
Bob.
It's because that's a new line I came up with.
Julio.
Huh?
No, because you use that all the time.
Julio, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie, Julio,
Yeah.
Bob.
No, Bob,
Yep.
Eddie,
Yep.
Julio.
And we
back
all
for another
survived.
session of
Three
Three-ball walk.
We're here.
That's it, and we survived the hurricane.
We
Yes.
survived the hurricane.
We're all in Gainesville, Florida, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we all had the eye pass close to us, and we all survived.
And I got bit by a wasp while I was cleaning up. I had a fat lip, but I've recovered. That was my worst.
You know, you could have come up with a better story. Like, you know, you looked outside to check on the wind speed, and a
Branch.
branch
Yeah.
or a pine cone went flying around the corner and hit you in the mouth.
face, yeah.
Yeah, but I stayed inside during the windstorm. I didn't want a pine cone to hit me.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
no,
We
I
went-
was taking down the plywood, and all of a sudden, like a swarm just came at me. I went and one of them nailed me right.
I got
there.
stung 7 times in the face one time. I went fly up my nose.
So that's what's wrong with you.
Yeah, and brain damage, and that guy went fly in my throat.
It's not.
Was
That's
not
not
pleasant.
good. I was asked if I had.
I don't know what
prophylactic
childbirth is like.
shock or something like that.
I have no
They said-
I don't
example
think-
of
I
what
don't think I
childbirth
did.
is, but have a wasp fly up your nose can't
That's
be.
not
yeah,
good.
That's not
That's
good.
not
No.
That's not close, I would guess.
no.
So-
all the women are going to write in there.
Baseball's still been going on.
Yep.
You
Everybody
know?
except in Florida.
I think Tampa Bay played a series up in Cleveland against.
And then they played in Queens last night.
against.
I don't know who they're playing.
Yeah,
They
so
weren't playing the Mets, but it was in Queens, and I saw that.
Baton Rouge offered to host the game,
No, I
but
don't
they
think
didn't
so.
move the game to Baton Rouge.
No,
No.
no. And the Marlins are playing out of town again. They're playing a home series away.
Yep.
Playing against the Phillies. We can start with that.
Yep.
Rookie of the Year last year, he made a big run for it, but with the Yankees, Sanchez, but obviously not enough sample size and whatever.
Right.
How about this Reese guy from the Phillies?
He is tearing it up.
You have to fill me in. I don't watch the Phillies that much. So.
32 games, 16 home runs, hit his 17th last night, so that's 17 in 33 games. You know, that's not shabby there.
It's not bad.
I think half of them have been against the Marlins.
Yeah.
He's had two home run games against the Marlins so far.
What's he batting? Do you know what he's batting right now?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Yeah.
They won 8-1 yesterday.
tearing it
Marlins. They didn't lose in walk-off fashion. You've been following your Braves?
I have not been following my Braves.
Thursday night
I didn't see it.
last week, after we did the show Wednesday, they walked off 6-5, bottom of the ninth.
I saw that actually. Yep.
Did you see the next night the Marlins actually won a game, and then on Saturday they walked up. The Braves walked off
Again.
on them again.
Yep.
On Sunday, they tied the game in the ninth and then walked off on them in the 13th. 3 walk-offs in a 4-game series, and then the Marlins opened the series with Philly, and they get walked off twice.
Wait, how do you get walked off twice?
Well, they're leading 7-2. That's about the time I turned off the game. Stanton had hit a home run, and
How many's he got now?
54.
54. He's
54.
got 54.
18 games.
So they give up 1 in the 7th, they give up 3 in the 8th, and they come in to bring in the closer in the 9th there with a still 7-6 lead, and they get a guy at second, guy gets a single, ties the game up, then the dude hits the ball into the left field corner, and Ozuna goes, gets the ball, throws it to the cutoff man, throws it home, the guy from first had gone all the way around, the catcher gets it, swipes over his head. Safe. 8-7, walk off, here they come, dump the cooler of water, the ice, the peanuts, the sunflower seeds. I mean, they're celebrating and everything like that. What?
There's the mess.
Walk off. And then they go in review, and something I've never seen, when he swiped, the thread from his catcher's mitt glanced across the top of the helmet.
And they called him out on that?
And they called him out.
They called him out on the...
Because part of the glove touched the helmet before the feet slid in.
No way.
I mean, literally, the thread from the glove grazed the top of the helmet.
No way.
The lacing.
How's that out?
Umpire comes out of the dugout. Boom. Then it takes 5 minutes for the ground crew to rake the field. They've got the little snow shovels because they're trying to pick up all the peanut shells. They rake it. They redo the home plate, the batter's box. I mean, it took them 5 minutes to get the field ready. Ozuna comes up in the top of the 10th. Home run.
Hey.
You think it's
I
over?
see it.
I
Reese,
too.
bottom of the 10th. Home run.
Tie game
Tie game again. And in the 15th, Reese hits his second home run
in extras.
in extras, walked off. But I've never seen a team get walked off twice in the
In
same
one game.
Dang.
The second one, there was no doubt. They didn't have to go to review.
You didn't have to go to review to see if that one was out?
No, that was a home run. So they got walked off 5
Wow.
times in a 5-game span.
5 times in a 4-game span.
Yeah.
Well, they won one of the games.
Unbelievable.
So
You get walked off twice in one game. That's
not
pretty good.
And they led.
And
They
each
led all of them.
Yeah,
I mean, big leads. They have no middle
You
relief.
got to find somebody in that pen somewhere over the next year
It's
if you want
always
to
the
compete.
6th, 7th, and 8th innings.
Yeah. You got to find somebody who gets you to the end.
You know.
Well, in this day and age, you think your starters. If I was a starter, I'd say, "Listen, I'm not coming back. I don't
No.
care. I don't care if I'm leading 12-2 and I've thrown 87 pitches. I'm going back out there till we get to the 9th. And if I've got 120 in me, I'm finishing the game.
But you got to remember who you're talking about. The Marlins, who
Who never finish a
never
complete
throw
game.
a complete game,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
You could be throwing a 1-hit shutout, and
Yeah,
you're getting
yanked.
because the bullpen's so good. A team that doesn't have to worry about losing and walk-offs, the Cleveland Indians.
I have been a baseball fan like you guys for a long time. I had hair when I started watching baseball. I've never seen anything like this. It's unbelievable. I hope we're. The question is, are they peaking now, or do you think, this is something they'll carry into the playoffs?
So who knows?
Because if they lose in the playoffs, this will be. It'll be like New England when they went undefeated for the regular season and lost the Super Bowl.
Right, but that's
Or
two
the
different
Golden
things.
State Warriors.
Right.
That's two different things.
different-
You put together a win streak is different than winning a postseason.
Totally agree.
I do, but as a fan, if you're a fan, and having been a Braves fan for as long as we have, and seen great championships won and division championships and then postseason failures, as a
But
Cleveland
you
fan,
win the division, it's not a postseason failure.
but as a Cleveland fan, don't you think there's people who are chomping at the bit for a World Series, and if they fall short, this will have no value anymore?
Well,
Don't you think so?
sure, that's two
Tell me
different
all.
things.
Tell me all the win streaks that have value. I mean,
No
ultimately,
win streak has a value except it helps you to win the division.
Right, and that which they pretty much have already done. But my point is, Cleveland fans, if it was, they haven't had a World Series victory since 1948.
Right. Well, if you ask
it's gonna be
if
a
you
lot.
ask any fan, which would they rather have, the
want the-
longest win streak or the championship?
of
Everybody's going to
course,
want the championship.
but
those are
it
two
makes the
different
regular
things.
season fun.
It makes it fun,
I
exactly.
mean, the Dodgers can do it as long as Kershaw's on the DL.
Sure.
I'm telling you, they need to put. I told you guys when
Put him
Kershaw
back-
was
put
on the
him back on the
DL,
DL.
they're better without Kershaw. I
So-
said it here, folks.
He did.
Tim Kirchin called me because I said it. They're better without Kershaw.
And why is that?
Said it.
I have no idea.
He got wrong. He did get lit up one game.
Statistically speaking, they have been better without Kershaw.
Yeah.
They've won more without Kershaw
For
than
2
they've
years.
won
It's a
since.
2
two
year
times.
sample size.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the best pitcher in baseball, but apparently the team forgets that.
But all I'm saying about the win streak, it's unbelievable. I mean,
Back to
but
Well, I'll tell you what. The two things that
21
I
games
thought.
is hard to win.
It's amazing.
The two things that I thought were, were just untouchable. Okay. Houston had a 13-game lead.
yeah,
And now they're 2.5 down.
2.5. Yeah.
I mean,
They're
Cleveland-
2.5 down?
They're two. Houston.
Oh, you mean it-
no? They had a 20-game lead in their division.
Oh yeah, they're not losing their division.
No.
But they had a 13-game lead
Oh.
on the Reds. It was the Red Sox at the time.
Right.
It wasn't even the
It
Indians.
wasn't Indians.
Okay. And now the Indians are going to wind up playing the wild card. They're going to get #1 seed. It looks like.
Yeah.
And then on the other side,
So
the
does
Dodgers.
that 21 game streak mean anything? Absolutely,
Oh,
it means you play the wild card.
No, it
That's
means a
what
lot.
it
Yeah.
means.
So yeah, if you even if you win the championship, you look back and go, if we hadn't won those 21 games in a row, we might not have won. We might have had to be playing Boston, or we might have been playing. So we're playing Boston. Maybe we don't win the series.
I'm not saying it doesn't have value. It's not important to their season. Obviously, it is. But what I'm saying is, if they don't win are they peaking? Are they peaking at the wrong time? It's a little
There's
early.
no. I
There's no
hate
such-
that. There is no such thing as peaking.
A team gels at a certain time of
There
the
is
year.
that is absolutely false.
I don't think so.
There is no such thing as peaking. Guys don't peak during a season.
The team comes together. At
That
certain
is such
times.
bullcrap.
It's not. Ask Atlanta.
It's bullcrap.
I mean, it's not. It's not at all.
Why? Ask
the
Atlanta
Atlanta
why.
Braves were not a bad team.
They were not a bad team. I'm just.
The Atlanta Braves had 5 starters for a 7-game series, and you only need 3.
And the Braves
had no bench,
the Braves were not
and they had no middle relief.
designed for a playoff run. They were designed for a regular season run.
Right, but that's not
And
peaking.
that's not peaky. What I'm saying is, everybody seems to be playing well. Jay Bruce is hitting home runs. Everybody seems to be playing well at this time. What happens when somebody goes off the rail a little bit? Will that
Nobody's
affect the team chemistry? And does that affect the win streak? I think it does.
because the problem is not that guys are playing well right now. It's the fact of when you get down to those last teams, you're playing the best teams in baseball.
I know.
So everybody's going to struggle more. So it's not a matter of peaking at that moment. It's how can you perform under the pressure of the playoffs. And that's a different thing than peaking. They're on a winning streak right now where the ball looks like a melon. That
Basketball,
happened.
The Dodgers are a very good team still.
Right,
I
sure.
don't want to play the Dodgers in the first
No,
game.
I wouldn't want to play
Well,
them.
I'd want to play them tomorrow, maybe because they're not playing very well right now. But
Last 10.
but that does that make them a bad team? Did they peak too early? There is no too early. If you win it, you win it. If you win the division, you win the division. If you win 21 games in April, that's the same thing as winning 21 games in September.
Totally agree.
Okay.
There's 162 games in the
I
season.
understand what you're saying.
If you win 21 at any point, that's still winning 21
You want to know?
games.
You
I
want to know
understand- I
what's
understand what you're
interesting?
saying.
The team that is hot in April
Right.
is not sometimes hot in May.
Correct.
But you know what happens in June if they're a good team?
They get hot
They
again.
get hot because they
Right.
play good baseball, and then for a week they'll go 5-5, and then the next week they go
Okay,
7-1.
so maybe my verbiage
Maybe
is
not
wrong.
7-1.
Instead of peaking, maybe hot at the right time. Are they getting hot too early?
No, you can never get hot too early.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you're hot
asking a
now.
question.
It matters can you play when it's October. But
Right.
in order to play in October,
have to get there.
you better be hot now.
Right.
Just think about this. They're hot right
They're
now.
not hot. They're
They're scalding.
They're scalding,
So
right.
they're going to play
Well,
the
because
wild card.
Because Andrew Miller's pulling a Kershaw.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's on the DL. Yeah, and
What?
sometimes I think that is true when your best player goes down. Everybody else on the team says we've got to do a little bit more,
Right.
And so they concentrate a little bit better, and they go there. If you're a Dodger and Kershaw's out there, you can't help but think, well, Kershaw's pitching tonight. We got
We
this.
can
Kershaw's going to shut them down. We don't have to worry about hitting that much. But if Kershaw ain't out there, you got to go out and say we got to score 6 runs.
right. Right.
And so you start playing, you manage a little differently because now instead of just getting 2 runs and shutting it down and saying Kershaw hold the lead, now it's like, okay, we got 2, we got to get 4. We got 4, we got to get 6 because we don't know if the pitching can hold up. Basically, the Marlins, you get to the middle. If you're the Marlin offense, you think we got to score 25 runs in order to win the game.
So besides taking the number 1 seed from Houston,
Right.
did Cleveland also take the Cy Young from Chris Sale?
Ooh, Kluber?
Yeah.
That's hard. He is doing. He's. I didn't bring the player stats today, but he's. I still say Chris Sale's the Cy Young Award winner.
I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I'd have to look at the numbers, but he certainly has elevated, at least made it a conversation.
Yes.
For the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
We'll try to check that in the break. We've got a
break,
couple
yes.
minutes before the break. See where we go on that.
We've got
And to get back to what we just talked about pitching, with say Kershaw, and you got a guy who you can count on, and the Marlins who have no bullpen. I know we talked about this before on the show, but do you think it'll ever revert back to the way it was, where you'd have starting pitchers pitch longer? Do you think because of the max effort factor, it's always going to be the way it is now?
I think it's always going to be that way.
That's interesting.
because
Until something changes.
But what would have to
the
change?
biggest reason is because pitchers are trained to not throw more. I mean, very gingerly, very easy on the arm, max effort, 100%. I know I didn't say 110.
That's because there's no such thing.
Okay, 100%. Throw everything you got, and after 20 or 30 pitches, we're coming to get you because we got someone else in the bullpen that can do the same thing.
Yeah, I think unless if Major League Baseball wants to change that, we can talk about that in the second half. But I think one of the things you'd have to do is you'd have to trim the roster, so you can't have as many pitchers. If you want to have starting pitching be a more dominant role,
Interesting idea.
then you have to cut the roster so you can't carry as many pitchers as you do. Hey, we'll talk about that maybe when we come back. I don't know.
It's already time.
It's already time. We're out of time for segment 1. We'll be back in just a few minutes with segment 2. Be right back.
Peace.